Hey, everybody. Welcome to Comic Book Curation Live. I am Polydub, and joining me, as always, the incorrigible
Oh,
Inquisitor 8.1 quiz. Merry Christmas. How are you?
Merry Christmas, and I'm definitely incorrigible. What's up, motherfucker?
Oh, not too much. I'm just, we're starting. Oh my God. 1 hour late on the dot. Perfect.
Yes.
All right. And rounding out our triumvirate of awesome, the man that's responsible for us being late all the time, so you can squarely place the blame on his shoulders, Jack from Bad Comic Reviews. Jack, how are you? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I don't know who you're talking about because I'm always early. You're the one that's late.
Well, we're talking about in reality, not in the wonderful world of your imagination. You know the time we're supposed to start. Please arrive on time next time. Okay. So, I'm still trying to get caffeinated here. I slept pretty late because I didn't sleep very much last night. How did you guys sleep last night?
I stood up entirely too late, and I have been all week. But the good news is that regardless of that and my slight tardiness at work, I've gotten a raise. So, yay!
Is it an ongoing tardiness, or you mean the day you got the raise, you were tardy?
I try.
You try
That
what?
means he's late every day.
I should have decoded that answer.
Shut up.
Yeah, the raise was like, maybe this will help him get here on time.
Hey, like if that works for Office Space, it works for me, right?
I've never seen Office Space,
You should. It's funny. I definitely like that movie.
You know what's funny as well? That neither of the co-hosts of the show have retweeted the tweet that says that the show is live right now. That's funny.
I am painting a mini.
I haven't got that far yet.
Need to cool
you guys, it would seem like somebody might care whether or not there was somebody here listening to it.
You don't care.
Well, since we never know what time you're going to start.
Well, moving on to it. Well, what? You know what time we started because I just said, hey, everybody, welcome to Comic Book Curation. I mean, did you think that I was like making that up, that we're not actually live?
Oh, dude, we're
50-50.
Don't let them fool you, peeps.
And doing a roll call, looking down, we have Mule 1066. Hey, he's first person here, and all of us collectively apologize for Jack's lateness. We're sorry about that, Mule.
Stop blaming me.
Well, I know it doesn't feel good, but it's the only way you'll learn to change.
I don't know how I could get any earlier for these streams.
We're not talking about next week's stream. We need you to be on time for this stream. Being early for next week's doesn't count.
Go back so I have to build a time machine to find you, to make you sit at the computer where I am waiting at mine from like 9 o'clock. I'm at my computer at 9.
Is everybody hearing the gyrations this man's going through to excuse his lack of punctuality? It's incredible. Okay, Shady Grins here. Hey, Shady. And Comic Book Streams is here telling somebody that they're lying. Shady Grin. Jim Healis is here. Hey, Jim. Richard Art. And Zero the Hero. There we go.
Hey, Peter.
And Peter. Peter. Oh, there. It just popped up. Okay. Your chat's moving ahead of mine. Nice. So we have a whole gang of fucking stories here. I don't even... Oh, I know exactly where to start. I always fucking forget to start here every week. It is the week before Christmas. And so, as always, I try and do a thematic thumbnail. And for those of you who haven't seen, here is this week's thumbnail. What do you think?
Is that another Zenoscope?
We're advertising Zenoscope all this month. Don't copyright strike us. Don't copyright strike us. It's we're discussing Zenoscope. We're happy to promote Zenoscope.
Have you seen their sales? They need all the help they can get.
Yeah, well, I don't think so. I think they're doing just fine, and I'm happy they continue. You know why I like this particular one is because that is a thick woman. Look at them hips, man. She's properly drawn as being like, rocking the badunkadunk, and might have a little trouble getting down that chimney, and I'm okay with that.
She's gonna get fat. And she's trying to poison you with mistletoe.
She's not trying to poison you, man. She's trying to entice you. And
with poison? That's not a good way to do it.
What I find particularly interesting about this this piece of art is that clearly she's not Santa, nor is she Santa's little helper, because we can see Santa in the background with 6 reindeer, not 8. Well done, Zenoscope. Ball drop. Yeah. So this is
paying attention to the Santa in the background.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, you know what? I had the opportunity to pay attention to everything in this picture because I did as I did last week. I cut her out of the background, did all my Gamma games. I even went through the trouble. I hope no one takes this as sexist, but I sectioned out her breasticles here and then increased the gamma difference just to make the shading extra heavy to, it's yeah, to accentuate, yeah.
Just showing off the presence.
That's right. So what's going on here? Because clearly she's not working with Santa because Santa's in the background. So this is clearly a strippergram that is taking her job very seriously and coming down the chimney, which is pretty awesome.
Well, she's probably one of Santa's little helpers that you're always hearing tell of.
If only everyone could take their job so seriously.
I don't know. She might just be breaking into that house too.
Yeah, I know, like steal some shit.
Yeah.
I mean, just because she's a woman, why do you automatically assume that she's not a thief, Polly?
Oh, nice. Jim Healis is like, so Polly, you altered the colorist's original work. I see you have no respect for art. Not just the colorist, my friend. I also used content-aware rescaling to widen the image in the background so it wasn't such a slim up and down picture. So I screwed with the colorist, I screwed with the penciler, and they call that transformative. It's not screwing, it's transformative. You see?
Yeah, that avoids copyright strikes.
That's what I'm hoping.
And Zenoscope does obviously draw women very well, like they used to be drawn in Marvel Comics. So if you're looking for some beautiful ladies, pick up some Zenoscope today.
Trademark.
Please don't screw with us.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can see, but this roof isn't exactly straight anymore, and that's a result of the content-aware scaling in the background.
I was gonna say, yeah, the perspective is a little wonky, but
I have a theory as to why Santa only has 6 reindeer. We don't know where this is located, so he may have just come back from flying over Iraq.
No, see, now we got Jim. I got Jim being. I'll be sure to let my friends over at Zenoscope know how much you like their art. No, shh, Jim, don't. I'm running with 0 copyright strikes, and I'd like to stay that way.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you get a copyright strike, then say goodbye to our stream, guys.
And that's
at least for 90 days.
Is that not one of the worst things about the whole copyright situation? Is that it's like, I don't know, like
horribly abused.
It's horribly abused, and then a bunch of my gamer friends, they're don't mess with Nintendo stuff. They're very litigious in that way. But other gamers,
not anymore.
Is that right?
Yeah, they recently put out a statement that they've removed the whole content creator clause thing and are now open to people streaming Nintendo games.
Because they saw their sales numbers, probably.
Yeah. Well, they saw a wasted potential, I think, is what the major thing is. I mean, it's hard to say that this, that streaming is not a major revenue advertiser source that you're getting for essentially free.
Yeah.
Well, no kidding. And it's for all of those who don't know who Zenoscope is already. It's like we've mentioned their name how many times in the stream alone? They should be happy.
Well, Jack actually pitched a book from Zenoscope, so.
Yeah, Paradise Court.
There you go. And if anything, I think considering that we used a Rob Liefeld picture, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, if anyone's hard up for money and is gonna be litigious, it's gonna be Rob Liefeld.
No, it's just Jim said Mike DeBalfo did this, and we should tweet this at Rob Liefeld and be like, notice the proportions. This is a beautiful woman, and this is what a human is shaped like. This is.
I was thinking about that the other day. I wonder if Rob Liefeld just doesn't have something wrong with his eyes that makes him see people like he draws.
I think you're being too kind to Rob Liefeld.
I know, but you got to give him a little bit of chance that maybe it's something other than the fact that he sucks at his job.
Ooh,
well, he doesn't. That's the problem, is that he doesn't suck at his job.
Well, he sucks when he doesn't have an editor that tells him what to do.
Exactly. Yeah, he doesn't have anyone telling him, hey, that's you need to go back and fix this. That's very true. The reason why I say he doesn't suck at what he does. I mean, he revitalized the New Mutants. He, has created many beloved characters. It's hard to say that
them, or did he just steal them from somebody else?
Yes, I know, but because even as beloved as Deadpool is, he is a straight up ripoff of Deathstroke. He is, and it's obvious too. I mean, Deathstroke's real name, Wade Wilson. Deadpool's real name, Slade Wilson. Sorry, I had it backwards. Deathstroke is Slade Wilson. Deadpool's is Wade Wilson.
Yeah, but I mean, that's an old story. I mean, the original Deadpool is a Deathstroke ripoff, and then everything that makes Deadpool interesting was done by other creators. Yeah. That's it's not that it's not true. It's just like, oh my god, that's such an old story. I wish everybody kind of knew that. It's sort of like Bill Finger's contributions to Batman and the fact that Batman's a bad ripoff of the Shadow. Everyone should know that. Okay, so moving on.
But the Batman's he's grown to be way better than the Shadow, only because there's a dearth of content for the Shadow.
So he's not way better.
It's because there's a dearth of content. If the Shadow has had comics, in the same numbers as Batman, I'm sure he would be just as popular.
Shadow was a pulp hero, and the pulps died in the 50s. So when they stop putting out new material, eventually it becomes forgotten.
Oh, nice. Ebony Williams is here. Hey, Ebony. How are you?
Hey, Ebony.
Quick story that I wanted to cover here. Not so much a story, just wanted to talk about it because it's awesome. The 40th anniversary of the original Superman movie just went by. December 15th. It premiered 40 years ago on December 15th. So when was the last time you guys saw it?
The 90s, probably.
The 90s.
Probably about the same for me, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that movie. It's just it's not the sort of movie that I immediately go to for my action thrills, if you know what I mean.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I get a text message from a friend of mine. I was unaware of this. And I got a text message from a friend of mine that I go see a lot of superhero films with. He's a comic book fan. And he's like, 40th anniversary, you're going to do a screening? And I'm like, fuck yeah, we're going to do a screening, because he's got like great TV and surround system and everything at his house. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I went by there and watched it. And that was the first time I'd seen it in like, I don't know, years. You know what I mean? Yeah. Holy fuck, man. It's like, and he had the Blu-ray with the cutscenes added back in for like one continuous movie, so you don't have to watch them as like separate cutscenes in the special features.
I like it when they do that.
Yeah. And it threw us, man, because we're sitting there going, okay, we're going to identify the cutscenes. We remember watching, like, this is some what do they call it? We've been pushed into another reality. You don't remember things?
It's the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah,
thing.
Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, and the Fruit Loops thing, like, chat, how do you spell Fruit Loops? Like on the box of cereal. Well,
OPS.
You are the worst spoiler I know of.
Like, I mean, always been that way. I used to work at a cereal plant.
Jesus Christ, you are seriously the worst spoiler I know of. Hey, quiz, have you seen The Usual Suspects? Kaiser Sose is Kevin Spacey. Like, you're just what'd you think of Fight Club? They're the same guy. He's having an imaginary friend. Like,
hey, I've heard Snape kills Dumbledore too.
What is that? Some Harry Potter shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Well, no, wait, you seriously not know that, Polly? The whole thing? What it was that the book
the only thing I know about Dumbledore is that in a bad fanfic, somebody called him Dumbledore, and it was
Dumbledore. Yes, but
it's called the Mandela effect. Thank you, Peter and Duck Dog.
Yes. Thank you, the Mandela effect. Yes, did Mandela die in prison, or did he go on to head the ANC political party? Yeah, well, as elected officials anyway.
And then seize the land from the Whitey.
But no, the God, now with the seize the land from the Whitey, I completely forgot what we were talking about. Good God.
You know, March Hare is here. March Hare is used to listening to a good stream, like namely the Umbrella Guys stream. And we're over here all over the place. Just whatever it is you're trying to say.
Are you calling us the short bus of streams?
Hey, I will not have you insulting my helmet.
Well, no, don't bedazzle it then.
No, I'm sorry. It was bedazzle's the one where you like you shoot jewels into it, right? Yeah. That's what
I put rhinestones on.
Yeah, rhinestones.
Anyway, what the fuck are you two talking about?
You don't know what bedazzling is?
Oh, the fucking thing you make jeans bedazzle. Look, yeah. Yes. So Superman the movie came out in 1978. All right, no one cares about Dumbledore.
Well, no, Snape kills Dumbledore thing it's from the book got leaked and 4chan got their hands on it, so they ran around to all of the Harry Potter places where people were saying like no spoilers, and then saying Snape kills Dumbledore just to piss them off.
I believe
big thing that happened.
Peter asks, is it Interview with the Vampire, Interview with a Vampire? The former, I believe.
Yes, Interview with the Vampire.
Don't care.
I've never seen it. I got a copy of it intending to watch it, and I still haven't done so. Yeah. So Superman the movie. No, listen. I was impressed overall. Great film. I would say 95% of the flying effects look great. Like they still hold up. There's a few moments, but they're far and few in between. Yeah. And as soon as you have Gene Hackman in your film, you're winning.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman's awesome.
Like I forgot how much I loved Otis, his little henchman underling. Like, why does the greatest criminal genius of our time, as Lex Luthor describes himself in that film, why does he have this idiot as his main helper? I mean, you understand why Miss Tessmacher's there. She's got tits. Like, she's always rocking around with the mad cleavage showing. That's kind of what she's there for. And I'm not going to lie. I would say around 15% of the fun of the film is listening to Gene Hackman yell, Miss Tessmacher! Like, that's just great. It's yeah. I mean, Christopher Reeves, he's fantastic in the role. He really rocks it. I heard a few people, I read a few people on Twitter talking about how, like, oh, that's a boomer classic. And they're just like, people only like that film. They're constantly referencing it just because they're boomers and they're old and they can't like anything new. And it's like, okay, that movie came out before my time and that movie's fucking awesome. It totally works. What's your problem?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's held up well. Special effects were very top of the line because they had to compete with Star Wars. Star Wars came out the year before and they had to compete with that. Well, not even a year before, but yeah, top of the line special effects, and it's the Silver Age Superman at his prime when they were really he had all these crazy powers, and they kind of made it work somehow in the screen. It's a great kids movie.
The thing that a friend of mine pointed out, a little, I don't know if you call it a plot hole or an inconsistency in the film, but Marlon Brando insists upon calling it Krypton, the planet.
That's because he can't talk.
And everyone around him, all the other Kryptonians are saying Krypton, and he's responding to them, but Krypton is going to explode. And it's like, Brando, didn't you notice? You noticed. You're just being an asshole, insisting upon calling it whatever you want. Now,
I could have been a contender. I could have saved Krypton.
So here is young Kal-El on Earth, and all he knows of the planet Krypton is what his father is telling him from the Green Crystal in this movie. So why, when Lois Lane is interviewing him, does he say, where are you from? He goes, oh, I'm from a planet. It's called Krypton. And it's like, well, no, hold on. It's called Krypton. The only time you've ever heard it said is by your father, Marlon Brando.
Well, we don't know if he didn't show him some newsreels from the day. You know, we don't know what kind of educational stuff he showed him. Like, because he doesn't have to narrate every single bit of the planetary history. Like, if you're teaching somebody, you're not going to sit there and transcribe every single written work you're going to teach them.
No, denied. That's exactly what you're going to do. Because when he's in the crystal ball, like crystalline ball floating towards Earth from the exploded Krypton, you hear Brando's voice explaining the entire history of all the 23 known galaxies. He actually says that, and he's yakking to him for years. So yeah, he did literally transcribe the entire library history of Krypton.
I think we're only getting part of the story. I think that was the introduction to each chapter, and they were just glossing over the audiovisual aspects.
Jim says it's Brando, no one's going to correct him, and then Peter says it's like me saying Spider-Man.
Well, I just assumed you went back in time and were his vocal coach.
Okay, now hold on.
Yeah,
if it's like you saying Spider-Man, then you verified that it is Brando just being a prick to be a prick, because that's why you do it.
Well, yeah.
But Jim's not wrong. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on Brando. Brando is like incredibly unprofessional and difficult as he was to work with. The results speak for themselves. The guy's got charisma falling out of his pockets. There's a reason you want that guy on screen, man.
No, he ate his charisma during the filming of Dr. Moreau.
I like that film.
I do too, but man, he got fat.
Oh yeah, he's a Jabba the Hutt when he's being walked around, and you know that ice hat was his idea.
Yeah, he was probably sweating up a storm.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on from Superman to other Supermen things. March Hare said it's typical for the younger generation. They think that blazing their own trails by completely destroying what they weren't creative enough to do. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the new Superman movie here. Jason Momoa says Henry Cavill isn't quitting Superman. You believe that?
Mimosa?
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
Yeah, he goes really good with brunch.
He's banging my childhood crush. I'll call him whatever I want, the filthy bastard.
She's so old now.
She is still beautiful. I don't care what you say.
And her baby maker's broken. Time to move on.
Ooh, that's an awful way to put that, Jack. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was terrible.
Yeah, that might have been a bit too crass. I apologize.
Nah, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't really mean it. So,
whew. So the Jason Momoa here, it says Henry Cavill isn't quitting Superman. Now, what I found interesting about this is, as usual, Umbrella Guy Tug is hating on us and stealing all the stories that I wanted to cover for his own stream because he's better at it than we are.
Way better. Yeah.
He's jealous. That's what's going on.
Yeah, that's it. Keep going with that, Polly.
So he, I know, I can't say it without laughing. So anyway, this is actually no, wait a minute. Tug didn't cover this. This was the other jealous guy, Ethan Van Sciver, who covered this today. I was watching his stream and he covered this, and I was like, God damn it, everyone's stealing the story tabs that I had saved for tonight's stream. God damn it. But what Jim Healis, it gives me 5 question marks over your childhood crush was Lisa Bonet. You make it sound like I've got bad taste. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, have you seen Angel Heart? Wow.
I watched the Cosby Show on syndication reruns, and I was like, wow, Denise is kind of like fucking hot, yo.
Watch Angel Heart where Mickey Rourke is banging her. Wow. She was very hot before she went crazy.
And I know I've said this before, but I need to reiterate this as often as it can be said. Lisa Bonet was let's say, not particularly strong in possession of herself. And then she met Lenny Kravitz, and Kravitz turned her into a hippie.
Yeah.
I was crushing on pre-Kravitz Lisa Bonet. I mean, is it an accident that she changed her name to Liliquai Moon after she met him? I mean, it just, anyway, he drove the bitch crazy is what it comes down to. So,
thanks, Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, exactly.
You have no talent.
Anyway, Stacey Dash, I'm assuming, is who Duck Dog mentions when it's like big fan of Stacey. Oh God, Stacey Dash is like, she's 52 and she's still on fire, smoking. Really, it's wild.
Yeah, Stacey Dash is ridiculously hot.
Yeah.
But Shady said, I think Cavill would make a great Superman if he didn't have the moodiest wannabe emo in Hollywood directing him. Blame Frank Miller.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
No, listen, it's not. No, I completely agree that it's. I think Shady nailed it. That it's like, oh, he doesn't smile. Well, it's not like Zack Snyder told him to. He probably told him to. God damn it! Stop smiling. You're ruining my moody emo film. You know.
Yeah, I think that's more Zack Snyder's fault than Frank Miller's.
Well, I'm just saying that Zack Snyder got to where he did because he did an adaptation of a Alan Moore movie in The Watchmen, and essentially 2 Frank Miller movies.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
300,
like,
which is his. Oh, I'm just saying 300 is his. Oh God, what's the term?
Magnum opus.
Magnum opus, yeah, it's definitely his magnum opus. But the other one is BVS, and it's hard to say that was not, especially later in the movie, heavily inspired by The Dark Knight Returns.
Now, okay, let me give you an example here of just to kind of not pull a Tug completely and take half an hour to get back around to our story. Love you, Tug. Don't get me wrong. Jason Momoa says Henry Cavill is in Queen Superman. This is off a Cinema Blend. And when I looked originally for this story, because I had read it over, no, not there. Where is the original story from? I don't know. Give me a quick second. I'll find it. There it is. See, if you go here, this is where I read it originally on
Entertainment Tonight.
On Entertainment Tonight, right? And it's like Jason Momoa says Henry Cavill is absolutely not leaving the Superman character. Exclusive. And look how short the story is. It's just a blurb, man. It can fit on one page. Like, that's it. Okay. So you go over here to excuse me, to Garbage Tier Cinema Blend, and it's yak. All this extraneous information. When I originally looked it up just on the search engine, their entire article is based upon the one highlighted quote here. And that's it. It's a great example of how many garbage tier movie web, help me out here, guys, Screen Rants, Cinema Blend, all the garbage tier sites. They just
BuzzFeed.
They have no original reporting whatsoever. No, they don't go talk to anyone.
Everyone just apes the AP.
Yeah. It's just like, as reported by Entertainment Tonight, and then they go on and yak. Because it's actually like 4 guys in a fucking basement that comprise Cinema Blend.
The actual facts are from Entertainment Tonight. The rest of the article is them giving their opinion. These are editorials disguised as news.
Yeah.
Oh, the CNN effect.
So let's read the article as it is. Jumped over. Superman Forever. What's that connected to? Just kind of says Superman Forever here on its lonesome.
Better not be porn?
I think it's connected to what my no script is blocking. Always run no script and ad block, ladies and gentlemen.
Always.
Henry Cavill will not be taking off Superman's cape anytime soon. His Justice League co-star Jason Momoa revealed at the Aquaman premiere at Hollywood's TCL.
See, you did it. You just said Aquaman.
Yeah, you did. You said Aquaman. Yeah.
Whatever. What? I can't help it. Inquisitor's an influencer.
Yes, I am.
Apparently.
It's true. So anyway, quote, I just talked to Henry. He's absolutely not leaving the character, Momoa told ET somebody. Quote, he loves the character. He's not, 100%. It's absolutely not going to happen, he insisted. And then the rest of the article is just them yakking about rumors that Cavill was stepping away from playing Superman swirled in September. A report at that time claiming Cavill was parting ways with Warner Brothers after contract talks between his reps in the studio didn't go as planned in regard to him making a cameo as the Man of Steel in the upcoming film Shazam. The article also alleged that Ben Affleck wasn't expecting to return to any films as Batman. Now, honestly, Jack, what? Cavill is Superman with a better director. Affleck as Batman with a better director. What do you think?
I think they'll both be fine.
Okay.
Actually... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I don't blame the actors for those movies at all.
No, I think if Ben Affleck had been able to do his Batman movie, it probably would have been really good. He does good, dark, broody movies.
I don't know. I just think like the massive lost opportunity there.
Yeah.
Ben Skyver said that like he called Batman played by Ben Affleck as he just said he's an action figure. He's one two-dimensional kind of thing. There isn't much to him. There's no shades of character. There's no warmth. I believe he said words along those lines. And Kate denied. I would argue against that. You may not like the older, grizzled, pushing 50-year-old, brooding Batman of, Frank Miller's Batman, basically, or Frank Miller's Bruce Wayne, but he played him to a T. I thought he was fucking great as Bruce Wayne. And what do you need? No warmth and charm. That little interaction scene in BVS between Diana and Bruce at the museum party was great. That was sexy. There was a lot of sexual tension there. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought he was fine, and I thought Cavill has got a lot of potential. Seeing him in Justice League, he was fine. He's a good actor. He's a little too British, but solid actor. He could pull off an American accent pretty well.
I was just about to say, did you hear his accent slip out?
Cavill? No, I just like to point out how many American superheroes are played by British people.
Well, I've got to mention the fact that I didn't know he was British, and that's not a credit to his acting. It's the fact that I've only seen BVS, and Superman talks in that movie.
Yeah, not a lot.
Martha.
Oi.
Oi. That's right. Yeah, he said that a lot.
That's awesome. Have a big Cockney accent. That'd have been great. No, I think they're both fine actors. They're able to do the part. They just need a better director, or not to have two directors on one movie.
Yeah.
Now, Ryan Walters says Ben Affleck does too much ad lib. Were you guys aware of that he was ad libbing stuff in either BVS or Justice League?
I've heard that, but if it works, it works. If not, they'll make him redo it. I'm not worried about it.
I liked his lines that he delivered, two or three of them in Suicide Squad. So,
yeah, well, you know what?
I hate that movie.
I like that movie.
I know you do. Harley Quinn's in it, so
yeah.
And she was.
I was really, really looking forward to Ben Affleck directing a Batman film with him playing Batman.
He's not going to do it now, though.
I know, but I was all the way looking forward to it. And this is what I mean when I said this whole DCEU thing has just been lost opportunity after lost opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, if they were smart, they would have made Justice League a kids movie, or at least kid friendly. So it was like PG rated. That would have brought a lot more people in. But the fact that there was a significant amount of swearing and it was a little more adult theme and dark really hurt it. They should have done what they were doing with Shazam and made it much more accessible to younger audiences and just stick with what they're good at. Because that's what DC was always good at, was having it more accessible to kids.
Well, I wouldn't agree with that. I think that they do both. They do both way better than Marvel.
You can't have one movie be schizophrenic like that. Like Batman versus Superman was a very dark film. You can't take your 8-year-old to see that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that the films are a little too dark like that. But at the same token, I think that DC haven't always just been good at being kid friendly. they've been, you know, they've been able to find a balance, at least in all of the previous sorts of things that they do before the movies.
Like, look at Superman, the movie we were just talking about. That was a kids movie. It was aimed at kids, but it was accessible to adults because they weren't talking down to anyone.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with a lot of these movies now. They're either talking down to the audience or they make them these dark, gritty, like serial killer dramas that you can't take your kid to.
It's okay. It's about the villains, though.
I don't really think they need to be aimed at kids necessarily. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, Superman 78 wouldn't have been a success if only kids went and watched it. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And
that's what I'm saying. Make a PG movie.
Okay.
You don't have to. I'm not saying make a kids movie. I'm saying make an accessible movie that kids can watch.
Gotcha.
Like Shazam is clearly doing that.
Yeah.
They're aiming that at kids, but they should be doing that with more movies because that's what DC is known for. They always said, grow up with DC, graduate to Marvel.
I wouldn't do that. Not nowadays.
No, but that's how they used to do things, and it worked.
Yeah.
That's what made them successful, was they knew that their audience was a lot more younger people, so they included them.
Yeah.
That's why, like, Superpowers was such a big success. That's why Super Friends was such a big success.
Yeah. I think they're trying to play to all of the different sort of variety that they have as characters. I personally am kind of stoked to see Aquaman. I think Aquaman does look pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a CGI nightmare fest from what you see, what you saw in the trailers. Like,
I love the trailers, dude.
Because everything's underwater, so and goddamn, man, everything was so bright, and it's like, man, are you guys ever pushing hard to get away from the super dark imagery of Zack Snyder's films? Holy!
But a character like Aquaman that works for, because you know, you can have like this sort of like pseudo pirate kind of thing, this fantasy element to it. It's like King Arthur underwater.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like an adventure movie rather than like a you know, a weird superhero movie.
But I mean, come on, like Ben Affleck has done 3 films that he directed: Argo, Gone Girl, and of course The Town. And he was in all of them, and they were really, really competent movies, whether you like them or not. They were of different styles. They didn't look the same. The point is, the guy can direct better than he can act, for Christ's sake. And unfortunately now it's like, no, we got to put all of our eggs in the Zack Snyder looking films.
Well, I think they're getting away from that.
But now everything is going to be corporate think, right? It's like, now we have to do the exact opposite. You know what I mean? And make everything as bright as fuck.
It didn't exactly work for Suicide Squad either. I mean, they went and they you know, post-production the shit out of that one to try and get away from that aesthetic. But then they went back and did the exact same thing with Justice League. So I don't know. It's
Justice League was too far gone by the time Joss Whedon got to it. I don't particularly like Joss Whedon that much.
I like some of Joss Whedon's stuff. I think the first Avengers movie is great.
I like some of his work, but he couldn't save that movie. There was no way. It was too far done by the time he got there. That's why it looks like 2 different movies squished together into one abortion.
Well, New Fate said, got to catch Aquaman on Saturday. I'd say it was about on par with Thor 1.
Ooh, high praise.
That sounds good to me, because Thor 1 is slightly higher than Captain America, the First Avenger, for me, at least, personally.
Yeah, that's high praise. The first Thor film was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Yeah, I actually didn't want to see Aquaman until I saw this most recent trailer, and I was like, all right, this looks actually really fun.
Yeah.
You see Orm in the costume, you see Aquaman in his orange
Black
and gold.
Manta. Yeah, God, I love it.
Fucking Black Manta looks great. See, I've always been an Aquaman fan, so I'm kind of biased, but
all I'm saying is that if he's not riding a giant seahorse with reins at some point in the film, I'm going to be disappointed.
I bet they will.
There are some characters that they're even in the trailer who are riding seahorses.
No. It has to be Aquaman, and he has to have rings of fish thoughts coming out of his head, like
touch the side of his temple and little rings shoot out.
That'd
be awesome.
Well, Jack, since you said that you really like Aquaman, what are your thoughts on Dan Abnett's run on Aquaman?
I actually have it sitting here.
Aquaman.
You're the one that said it first, Polly.
It was an accident. You're doing it on purpose. You can't bust my balls.
And I said Aquaman.
No, you said Aquaman.
You said Aquaman.
Aquaman.
You're both doing it now. No, I haven't read it yet. I've got it sitting here. I actually accidentally didn't cancel my pull in time, so I got the first issue from Kelly Sue DeConnick sitting here too. But I like Dan Abnett, so I'm sure it'll be a fine story. I just haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I would say I'm actually been binging for the last couple of months all of Dan Abnett's Warhammer books.
Yeah, he's got a lot of them too.
Oh yeah, he did the whole Gaunt's Ghosts series. Yeah, no, he's great.
Did he do the Horus Heresy?
I think he did a couple of Horus Heresy books. I think he did Horus Rising. But the one that really kind of propelled him was the Inquisitor Eisenhorn and Inquisitor Ravener books. Those are the two really big ones.
I'm a huge fan of Dan Abnett's work. I'll at least give a try to whatever he's doing. Like his run on Silencer right now is great.
Nice.
That is a great book.
I was actually
hold on. Johnny Hellcat says that he met Mimosa at Emerald City Comic Con. Seemed like a nice guy. But was Lisa Bonet there?
I was gonna say, did you meet Polly's crush here? Or?
Yeah, I've heard he's a really down to earth guy.
Oh, I'm sure he's fine, but that doesn't
mean
he's not
fine. He's banging my ex or my Polly's ex-girlfriend. He wishes.
My would-be ex-girlfriend.
We broke up after Different World got canceled.
Well, she was only on it for one season. Yeah, but anyway, let's talk about this article of strangeness here. Bounding into comics.
Oh God,
that is the worst photo. He looks like
the worst photo. Like it's not just the haircut. Everyone talks about the haircut. It's not. It's just like there's nothing good about that photo. Wow. New petition calls for diversity in comics, aka Richard C. Meyer's social security number to be revoked. This is just epic.
Is this a joke from 4chan? Because
okay, here's the thing. Chat, you're going to have to help us out here. And if you're listening in the future, by all means, in the comments section, feel free to comment on anything. But particularly, did you think this was a joke or not? A new petition, which has already been taken down, by the way, which makes me think that it was much more of a joke. But here we go. A new petition created by Lilith Framington calls for YouTuber Richard C. Meyer, who runs the Diversity in Comics channel, to have his social security number revoked by the United States government. The petition specifically calls for the United States government to stop Richard Meyer from speaking. Quote, we want to stop him from saying things he says on YouTube about comic books.
He's such a mean, poopy head.
It goes on
he needs to be stopped from talking.
It goes on to declare the only way to stop Meyer from doing so is to revoke his social security number. Quote, and yeah, I did. God damn it. I should have archived the original petition. If the United States government revokes his social security number, he will not be able to have bank accounts or jobs. His social security number could be given to a marginalized person in need, like a young Hispanic man or a female of Uzbeki Muslim heritage, until our social I know. Until our society progresses to have a more comprehensive social credit score system. The social security numbers are best way of controlling who is allowed to participate in daily life. No one is allowed to buy or sell without it. This is okay. The petition is supposedly delivered to newly elected New York Congresswoman AOC. It currently only has one signature. Well, see, now there's the thing that I noticed, that it was aimed as a petition to be sent to her directly. In my opinion, this was an op to try and take advantage of her to see if they could get her to take this up, because nobody thinks she's real smart. That's my guess. That she's smart, and so therefore is going to see this, and marginalized person and Uzbeki and so forth is all written up in here. And so she might take it seriously. And it would have, in my opinion, this was the point of this op, and it would have two goals. One, to Poe so bad that people would actually sign up to this thing and therefore would look like idiots. And then 2, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez would get behind it and thereby make her look stupid as fuck as well. That's my best guess.
To be fair, this is brilliant Poe work because this is hysterical.
Yeah, it is.
And it hits all the right talking points.
I mean, I love this. Please help by signing the petition and allowing us to affect real change in the world. It's almost 2019. It's not 2016 anymore, so people shouldn't be allowed to keep doing the same things.
That's brilliant. I like how they reference the social credit score that they've got in China now.
Yeah.
That's pretty brilliant.
That's see what I mean? I agree. It's great Poe work because it's got so many things working inside of that short little paragraph. The marginalized is there. We're going to reference the Chinese social credit score system. We in America need to do the same thing and make it happen by social security numbers. It's aimed at AOC, etc. Yeah.
Now, to be fair, if it's not a Poe, this person's a retard. But I would say it's 90% Poe. But it's so believable.
It's funny, is what it is.
Yeah.
That's the thing that kills me the most about it is that it's the frightening times. You can't tell the difference anymore.
Lilith Framington.
Yeah. I'm going to.
That sounds like a Sonderbligat Hampter or a Crampton St. Rumterfrabble.
Or Princess Weeks.
Yeah.
That's a cat's name. Come on.
It is, I know, but you were going to name your cat something exotic. Lilith, whatever, is pretty good.
I don't know. I was a fan of Lord Meowington, but whatever, fine.
Everybody likes Lord Meowington. Talk about.
I can find no reference to a Lilith Framington.
The reason why I copied it is I wanted to look around to see what Framington references. Like, people, when they're making up names, are largely uncreative. They'll just pick names from their favorite book that they think signifies something. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like, who's Framington? Like a particularly annoying SJW character in a book from the 70s, that kind of thing.
Okay. Historically, surnames evolved in the ways some groups by occupation, place, or origin, clan affiliation, patronage, parentage, adoption, even physical characteristics like red hair. Many of the modern surnames in the dictionary can be traced back to Britain or Ireland. Framington is a legitimate surname. There are 3,000 census records available for the last name Framington. Trying to read some more. That's about all I'm getting, is that Framington is an actual last name. There's origin. It can be traced back to Britain or Ireland, and it gives similar surnames are like Warmington, Brassington, Armington,
Fakington.
Remington. All right, so the short version of the story is that my guess failed. It might appear in a book somewhere, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know now. I'll continue to look into it. So let's touch on the article for which our stream is named. Mark Ruffalo won't be coming home for Christmas, and the reason why is because he's still fired.
We know, Jim. We know.
What? Who? Jim?
Yeah, Jim was saying that it could be a marketing stunt and stuff like that on the last time we brought up Mark Ruffalo.
You know what? I think it could be, but I'm going to enjoy it for the time being.
We don't take this from us.
Jim, don't take our Christmas presents and break them. Not cool, man.
Fat Platypus would like to know any advice on the brand of ammo that she should buy on clearance. Seems kind of off topic on a comic book stream. Seems more like the kind of thing you might want to DM somebody about. Might just put that out there.
Don't buy Wolf unless you want to clean your guns. Like a lot. Yeah,
don't. And Wolf steel case, if you're going to do mag dumps, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's just going to cause stoppages. Oh, man. Straight out of Russia. I mean, Wolf makes good stuff. They're premium stuff, but as soon as you're buying Wolf Premium, like, what are you doing buying Wolf anymore? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
PMC from South Korea is actually really good stuff. It's made to NATO specs. It's usually available cheap. Whatever you do, don't buy the 40 round bulk box from Winchester. It's awful. It's like 45 grain varminting hollow points. Terrible. Anyway, we've gone really off subject here. So let's talk about Mark Ruffalo, shall we? Rachel Leishman, who is second only to Princess Weeks on the Mary Sue, has her explanation as to why Mark Ruffalo encourages everyone to give back. Do it for Mark Ruffalo, the best of us all.
Here, I found a picture of him that you may like better. Damn it, it's loading now. He's pointing to his nipple.
What? Hold on.
That looked like a growth to me.
Oh, God. Why is he pointing to his nipple?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
And Mark Ruffalo is the best of us. He's the best at leaking information about movies and getting fired.
Yeah, and Johnny Hellcat's like, ride that horse till it's dead. I'll ride it till it's not funny anymore, sir. And it's still funny, okay? I mean, there's no actor that I enjoyed less in comic book films than Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner. And he's such a smarmy guy on talk shows and on social media. He's so incredibly smarmy and condescending. He supports all of the things, and he's a male feminist and blah, 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 blah. And this jackass carrying on like a jackass on one of those talk shows gets himself fired. That is so priceless. You know, nobody did it. No one did it to him. He did it to himself. That's what makes it funny. He stepped on a rake and took it hard.
He's smug like that blonde Adam guy from Adam Ruins Everything. He's just got that punchable face every time he's like, I'm right.
So let's find out what...
Come on, you know he's not right. His team of writers are right.
No, I don't think they're right either. I think they'll bend the truth to suit their needs.
So Rachel Leishman starts this article the best way that anybody could start an article. You know, as of 2018, winding to a close, I only trust like 4 white men, and Mark Ruffalo is at the top of the list. So let's just take a second and look at that topic sentence and also the introduction to her entire article here. First of all, this couldn't be more garbage tier. It contains the word like. I only trust like 4 men. Okay,
no, you got to say right. It's like 4 men.
Yeah,
well,
Jack, no. You've written books. You have an English degree. If you're going to use like that, it has to be either between 2 end dashes or between 2 commas. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense in that sentence. So you're awful. And you also started a sentence with you know,
and you're supposedly supposed to be writing something. You're writing about something. And you are immediately in the first fucking sentence using I. So you are already interpreting something through your own perspective.
And journalists are not supposed to use self-referentials like I in that way.
Site. This is barely a blog.
and that brings us to the thing. Mary Sue, they do talk about themselves as being journalists. This is the garbage tier of garbage tiers. Because they're not even trying to pretend to be journalists. They don't take on, and they insult their readership. Now, we're going to take a look over here, right? Look at this.
The Weekly World News was more journalistic than the Mary Sue.
The most wonderful time to subscribe. 50% off yearly subs. Can you imagine subbing to this site for a fucking year? That blows my mind. And there is a readership for this, like a serious one, not like mining for comedic gold like we do. No, there's a serious contingent of people out there that want to read this stuff. And one of their number one, full air quotes, journalists that work for them thinks that their audience thinks so lowly of their audience that this is the way they think they talk. You know, as 2018 winds to a close, I trust like only like 4 white men, and Mark Ruffalo is at the top of that list.
I really want to put out a poll to our viewers right now, all the ones that are currently watching and the ones that will be watching in the future. Should I start a GoFundMe for however much it is to buy Polly a yearly subscription to the Mary Sue.
What do you even get?
Why don't you just punch him in the nuts for free?
Yeah, don't do that, people. Don't do that. It's just, there's so many better things. Like you could light your money on fire. You could throw it down the storm drain. There's all sorts of things you could do that would be better.
Oh man, I'd rather give my money to the homeless, and we all know I don't like them.
So, and then the final thing that I wanted to bring up, we haven't even gotten past the first fucking sentence. Okay, and I joked with these guys when I was offline before we started, and I read this, but I read it as I only trust like 4 black men. And Quiz says to me, well, that sounds kind of racist. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And I was just fucking with you. This is the way it actually read. What the fuck's wrong with you, Rachel Leishman? Like, seriously, what the ever-loving fuck is wrong with you? You're displaying 1, horrible grammar, 2, your contempt for your own audience, 3, your inability to write professionally, and 4, your blatant racism. All in the first fucking sentence of your article. Fuck you. So let's read on. Concerned about the environment, working towards making young people in the world get out and vote, encouraging his fans to give back, all makes him one of the great guys out there. Maybe it's because he's constantly trying to make a difference in the world, but he's someone who just wants everyone to be the best they can be. What is this about? Like, what is this, just like an ode to Ruffalo? Okay. And he continues to share joy in the world, even when it feels dark. Is the age of Trump going to be referenced here? Today, he took to Twitter to encourage us to pay it forward, a challenge that means giving back to those around you, whether it's paying for someone's lunch or giving to those in need. It's just a way to help those less fortunate this holiday season, but make sure they're marginalized, POC, LGBTQAIP, because otherwise you'd be helping out the oppressor. This is the tweet that got her so inspired to write this article. I was so inspired by your generous spirit during the hashtag Pay It Forward challenge last year that I wanted to do it again this holiday season. Enjoy a drink on me this morning. I encourage you to add on to this gift card or start your own. Mark Ruffalo. Okay.
So brave.
I gave an initial 20. You did. And in posting about this article, gave $20 more because someone out there needs it. Even if you could only give $5, just 1 Starbucks to someone, that's one Starbucks.
Wow, how bourgeois.
This is the charity that they're talking about, making sure that one of your bougie ass fucking friends who reads the Mary Sue and has enough money to waste that they're willing to subscribe to the fucking Mary Sue.
I was going to say that now we see where the subscription dollars are going.
Yeah,
right?
Oh my God, we got to get our pumpkin spice latte for those hobos up front.
You know what? I already gave my holiday contribution this year, which I do every year. And it was to a Seeing Eye Dog group not too far from me. A service animal, but they're specifically for blind people. Because I love Seeing Eye Dogs and service animals as a charity. I think it's a great one. Yeah. Okay, now that's a charity. And that's not trying to extol my own virtue. It's just, hey, everybody out there, if you can't think of a great charity, St. Jude's is awesome and service animals are awesome. So
yeah, if you think Starbucks is a good charity,
that's right.
You're a retard.
You are actually suffering from some kind of retardation. And that's not to insult people that are mentally either one disabled or developmentally disabled. I mean, you at some point in your mental growth, you became retarded and stopped growing to be able to have the critical awareness of understanding how incredibly stupid you just sounded.
To the point of retrograde. Like, I think they got dumber.
Yeah. Like, because someone out there needs a Starbucks?
And, like, you know, like, Chris Rock went out and bought everybody's layaway at some Walmart. But, like, just paid for it all.
Like, it's like, even if you can just give $5, just 1 Starbucks to someone, that's enough. I'm not certain we're even interpreting her properly, Jack. I think she might have meant it might only mean a Starbucks to you, the $5, but it could really help someone out that $5 you would have spent on the Starbucks. But her writing is so bad, it reads
I think she actually meant what's written there.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because there's a comma. Just one Starbucks to someone. That $5 is for a Starbucks for someone.
And by the way, it was Kid Rock, not Chris Rock.
Whatever. They're all rocks. They're all related, right?
Okay. And if
I assume they're brothers.
And if you can't give back with money, you can give with your time. Donating time and resources to local homeless shelters or coat drives this holiday season gives hope to those less fortunate than us to give back. Hold on.
That's a great sentence.
Donating time and resources to local homeless shelters or coat drives this holiday season gives hope to those less fortunate than us to give back.
It gives them more hope than us just giving back. Whatever. This is terribly written.
Holy fuck.
Is English like her third language? Like, did she learn like originally she's like a Chinese speaker and then learned German and then a German guy taught her English? Because that's how this reads.
No, you know what it is? It reads like she has an auto dictation device.
Yes, it does. It very much reads that way.
And what kills me is that Rachel Leishman is the same one who wrote that article making fun of Melania Trump and making fun of the way Melania Trump talks. You realize like that's what made me think of this is when you said it's like a third language. English is Melania Trump's third or fourth language. She's fluent in 5.
Yeah. She's from Slovenia, right?
Yeah, and that's why she talks with the super thick accent she does. She speaks multiple languages with a thick accent. How are you doing, Rachel? You can't even do English well. Like, anyways, all right. Encouraging his fans to help those around them and bring a smile to their face. Inspired by Mark Ruffalo. Have some coffee and goodies on me.
You have diabetes. Good job.
Like you're encouraging people to go to Starbucks. This is okay. It's just a sweet gesture. One that he didn't have to do, but did anyway, because I think he truly wants the world to be a better place. Constantly, he helps those in need, and it makes us want to be better people. Thank you, Mark. You use your platform for good, and time again without asking much in return.
What's he doing that's so good?
People in need of a Starbucks are not
people in need.
Yeah, you know what? You see somebody that's in need, you give them a can opener and some cans of food. That you could get that on $5 right there. There's like a bag full of food. Fucking Starbucks, really? What is wrong with people?
We support you because you're a talented actor, but also because you're willing to stand up for people and be the voice of a lot of us who cannot have in regards to our government, climate change, and everything else going on in the world. Are you 12, Rachel Leishman? Like, did you just hear that sentence?
That sentence is absolutely retarded. It does not make grammatical sense at all. And she jumps topic like 3 or 4 times.
But also because you're willing to stand up for people and be the voice a lot of us cannot have in regards to our government, climate change, and everything. Jesus Christ. It's just terrible. Okay, this is one childhood crush I'm super glad that had continued to work out. Like, she's super glad.
It work out? Are you stalking him?
Well, here's a picture of Mark Ruffalo back in the day. And the image is for the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation.
It's probably some kind of charity or something. Some tax write-off.
For his environmentalism, because it's like he's all about the climate change. Anyway, I love busting balls on Mark Ruffalo because I think he's a terrible actor and he's such a smarmy, condescending fuck. And I loved this picture. That was half the reason that I wanted to do this article, because it looks like he's in a church of social justice. This looks like stained glass behind him, and he's up at the church pulpit, and he's got, I don't know, what would be the Bible of social justice.
Let me tell you about the good Lord Anita.
Yeah, he's quoting from Zoe Quinn's book, Maximum Crash Overdrive, or whatever it's called.
Have you given yourself your 20 lashes for being white and a man today?
And what a bourgeois thing. Like, white upper middle class people talking about Starbucks. I mean, that dude's a multimillionaire. If he wants to give like $100 to somebody, give it to a food bank. Don't give it to a Starbucks gift card. But that's enraging to me. I'm very angry.
Well, let's see if this article calms you down. Vice Admiral Holdo is one of my favorite parts of The Last Jedi by Princess Weeks. I can sense the calming influence it's having over you, Jack.
Yeah, those aren't the words I would use. I don't think that you know what those words mean.
Over the weekend, in celebration of the 1-year anniversary of The Last Jedi, the host of Forever Star Wars Pod and contributing podcast?
I'm assuming, podcast. Yeah, but...
Maybe they were pod racing. You don't know.
No. She seems like the person that's retarded enough to shorten podcast to just pod.
Yeah, it's just a pod. The host of Forever Star Wars Pod and contributing writer for Clashing Sabers wrote a tweet asking for other people to retweet if the character of Amy Lynn Holdo from The Last Jedi, as played by Laura Dern, meant something to them as a character. Oh, it meant something to me, all right. Here's the tweet. I don't normally like to do this, but I'm tired of the, quote, nobody liked Holdo perspective. It's fine to not like her, but don't assume everyone feels the same. Retweet if Amy Lynn Holdo means something to you as a character. As to be expected, there were positive comments, but there were also people who just had to express what a poorly written Mary Sue, social justice, etc., our entire website is. Now, I recognize that The Last Jedi is a mixed bag for a lot of people, and I can proudly say that I have The Last Jedi haters and lovers on my timeline. That being said, I have always been Team The Last Jedi is good, and that extends to the character of Holdo. So here is my response to that tweet. From the moment she appeared in the film, I felt a really deep love for Admiral Oldho. Mainly because it was awesome to see a femme woman being put into a position of authority after General Leia.
What?
If she loves her so much, I don't want to know exactly what she had in her hands when she viewed the movie.
I bet it went...
I don't like... Why? Because she was like...
Now, I'm with Cracked. Best part of Purple Lady is she died.
Well, when Poe sees Oldho...
Just wait. We talked about this before, and I will bring it up.
What?
We'll bring it up later. Keep
going.
All right. When Poe sees Oldho, he has doubts about her abilities and her intellect. And for me, from the beginning, I felt like Rian Johnson was making a very powerful point about the way we view female leadership. I know a lot of people are like, God damn it. The like again. That's just terrible writing. Quote, why didn't she just tell Poe or anyone else the plan? Well, the answer is simple. The rebels, bless their hearts, are bad at sticking to plans and understanding the long game. We see at the very beginning of the movie that Poe disobeys and turns off his headset during an attack that Leia explicitly told him not to engage in, that left them with less fighting power and caused many deaths. You know what caused more deaths than anything? Admiral Oldho's plan.
Yeah.
It takes very little for everyone to abandon faith in Oldho, for remaining calm and sticking to her guns by keeping her plan close to the vest. The reason why is clear. If she had told them that she planned to die on the ship, they would have tried to stop her. Poe would absolutely have tried to stop her because he's an impulsive person who believes he knows best. That was made evident at the beginning. That was made evident at the beginning is a sentence fragment. This is just awful.
I would point out that Poe probably knew that the ship would have an autopilot.
See, this is the thing. It takes very
cruise control.
I know. Everybody says that. Why didn't you just set it on autopilot? The reason why is clear. If she had told them that she planned to die on the ship, they would have tried to stop her. No. That is not the complaint that anyone would have. The complaint is, are we allowing one ship after another to be destroyed? That's what everybody's like disgust and horror was about. And the whole point was, what are you going to do? Because we're slowly being through attrition worn down to no one. And by worn down, I mean being murdered to nothing. And her whole plan was, okay, we're going to get in the escape pods and we'll be the distraction while the escape pods get down to our planet. That was the part she didn't tell anybody. Princess Weeks here can't seem to understand anything that's going on past Admiral Oldho. It's not about her dying on the ship. It's about, are you going to save anyone's lives, or are you just going to wait till we're all fucking slowly killed off one ship at a time? And it's like, no, I've got this plan. By the time we're going to an old rebel base and we're all going to sneak down there. And she didn't even have to tell the part about her dying, because I think everybody would have cheered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, like, she didn't tell Poe because he is a man and he understands that she's in charge, right? Oh my God. No, she didn't tell him because she's bitch. Because plans change. You have to adapt to your battlefield situation. That's called war. I mean, that's Sun Tzu 101.
And here we go. The First Order rules through fear and intimidation, even though its leaders are loud and incompetent man babies. See Hux's petty snarls and Kyle Wren's. Kyle Wren.
Yeah, Kyle Wren. That's
Kyle Wren, Prince. You're a real Star Wars fan, huh?
Yeah.
Kyle Wren's tears of nepotism angst.
You know,
nepotism
for these people,
angst is just, that's not how you say that.
Nepotistic
angst.
Yeah, nepotistic angst. Yeah.
Anyway,
I would like to point out two things being said in chat. Frosted Glass said, "Why didn't they have a droid crash a ship?" And Mike said, "Put the damn fish head in charge. It was a calamari ship." Those are both true, but those are marginalized minorities. So
good point.
Good point. Do that.
Okay.
But she's a woman. Shouldn't it have been white man that
progressive stack, died? Dude? Progressive stack. She didn't want no man to die because they'll never hear the end of that.
For a people that are quote incompetent man babies, they sure as hell fucking killed a lot of people.
Well, let's hear what else she has to say about Kyle Wren and Princess Leo.
Yeah.
Oldho was not a perfect character because, in addition to being a character, she was also representing the distrust we have for female authority. When men or coaches talk about having faith and, quote, trusting them, even when something seems out of reach, we have been taught to trust them because of their experience matters.
Yeah, I trust people with experience. That's what you're supposed to do.
The fact that Leia trusted Oldho didn't matter to the rebels, and that is disappointing. And it is the actions of Poe that lead to more death. So while everyone asks why Oldho didn't do this, why don't people ask how Poe made it this far up in the military if he has such a hard time listening to and taking orders from his superior officers?
Okay, we talked about this before the stream began, and the immediate thing that we came to realize is that the Rebel Alliance
is not an army.
Yeah.
It's a group of volunteers who are fighting a guerrilla war with a larger, more well-equipped, and better trained force. Correct? I'm not wrong with that, right?
No, the rebels are the Americans and the Imperials of the British Empire.
And anybody who seems like they have some kind of leadership potential gets rocketed to the top. Reference General Solo. The guy's a smuggler. He's not a military leader. And in between the end of Star Wars, A New Hope, and the beginning of Empire, he becomes General Solo. I mean, think about that. That just speaks to exactly what you're saying, Quiz. They're a rebel army, which means we take what we can get and we put up who seems to have some kind of leadership. It's like, and shockingly, some of these people can't take orders. And I am taking issue with Princess Weeks here. I think the issue at hand is that she had a problem with Hispanics. That's why she
sounds right. Well, maybe she's just a racist.
She
exemplifies white feminism.
That leads into the second point that I made. Okay, so Admiral Holdo, we'll disregard Poe for a second, right? Admiral Holdo got herself into a situation where she got a lot more people killed, in the whole suicide charge thing, having them go down to this planet and having the risk with the laser that one of the main characters had to try to sacrifice himself, but the good old the best part of the movie, Tico prevents him. So we got all that happening, right? And she suicide runs it. She got infinitely more people killed with her actions, and then she kills herself.
She's the Hitler of Star Wars.
Just wait till that dawns on you for a second. She made poor decisions that got a lot more of her people killed and then killed herself. She's the Hitler of Star Wars.
It'll come out later that she deactivated 6 million droids.
Beyond all of these things, I enjoy Old Ho because she, like Rose, gives women another way to be strong. With her long lavender robe and bright hair, polished nails and jewelry, Old Ho shows that there are different ways to be a powerful warrior woman. That being so true to yourself and your own style doesn't make you inferior. The right to be an individual is what the rebels are fighting for. Also, if you underestimate her, that's to your own downfall.
Okay, you underestimate her and she'll kill herself on you. Really, really bad, man. She'll suicide so much it'll make you hurt.
I would say that if you want to learn more about Admiral Oldho, read the Leia, Princess of Alderaan book.
I am not reading a book that talking about the quote Star Wars extended universe will make every pussy in the room dry up immediately. I'm not going to do that.
Just talking about Star Wars does that. It'll just be a lot worse.
And because it introduces a young Old Ho, and her first words are, quote, "I hope it's dangerous. I want to get more comfortable with the nearness and inevitability of death."
Well, don't worry.
And there's the mic drop gif. This author is actually under the impression that oh yeah, see, I'm like hot up on social media and shit.
Slay Queen.
Yeah, man.
Jazz Queen Slay.
Okay, you know what? We have other.
I need to point out my theory that Admiral Holda was a ripoff of another character, though.
Mm-hmm.
See, here we have Admiral Gender Studies. And now look at her carefully, and I know the glasses were added specifically for this meme, but if you compare closely, you'll notice that she looks just like Mrs. Slocum from Are You Being Served? Same stern, judgmental eyes, same glasses, same color hair, dresses like a shopkeeper. See, dresses like a shopkeeper, judging you. Pursed lips of evil.
Pursed lips of evil.
Slightly confused, semi-pursed lips. There's better photos.
You're still focusing on yourself.
No,
Focus on Jack.
No, I'm not.
You are. I'm looking at the stream.
No, you're delayed.
Yeah, well, okay.
So I'm just saying they stole the character from a better show. See? Vice Admiral ripoff.
Vice Admiral Gender Studies.
Okay. I want to get through this.
Used to put that up there. I'm
going to fly right through this article. I'm going to read the whole thing as best I can because there's really only one point to this entire article. And this is the last Mary Sue one we're going to do today. I've got other ones, but I don't know. We'll see how things go here. William Shatner's the man. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay. William Shatner's awesome. Okay. And he played one of the most iconic characters of all time and played him with panache and style and just rocked the role. Right?
Yeah.
And if you ever needed proof of any of the things that I just said or evidence towards them, let's read Mary Sue's article ripping Shatman a new one, or trying to. William Shatner's #MeToo hot take would embarrass James Kirk. Live long and stop tweeting. Like I said, Shatner's the man. Okay, let's start by reminding everyone that Jim Kirk is actually a beacon of non-toxic masculinity.
Really? With all the alien chicks that he bones?
Despite what J.J. Abrams would have you think. We've also covered why William Shatner is a terrible ambassador for that character due to being the opposite of what my captain stands for. Now, Shatner has once more proved why some actors need to stay off social media with his latest comments on the #MeToo movement. That's certainly something to say, but it's not unusual coming from the famously rude actor.
It's not unusual.
Oh, dude, I was totally going to do that.
Famously rude actor.
These comments came about a week after he took to Twitter to defend Baby It's Cold Outside, following a Canadian radio station pulling the song due to controversy. We're not about to jump on the annual argument over the song here, but Shatner personally found the decision to be a poor one, referring to the detractors as 2018 prudes who want to interpret the lyrics as something else. No, see, this is what kills me. You do want to jump into the annual argument, you motherfuckers, but you just found a cheap, fucked up way of doing it. Okay, so I'm going to read through the whole thing, so let's just do it. Okay. Shatner then spoke about the hashtag Me Too movement with Daily Mail TV, saying, quote, and let's let the Shat Man speak for himself and all of his awesomeness. In 2018, we have the hashtag Me Too movement, which I think is great, that these hidden forces are exposed and not allowed, and women have equal rights. I got 3 daughters, and I'm all for that. But if you look back at things that were written, say, 20, 30 years ago, it's a different context, and you've got to judge it by that context. Rape and pillage? Absolutely not. Those are crimes against humanity. But saying, would you make love with me? And the opposing party says yes or no, I can't fathom what's wrong with that. It's like saying, would you have dinner? Would you like to write a song with me? Would you do an interview? I'm not insulted by you asking me to do an interview. Maybe it's my mindset based on the years that I've lived, but I'm trying to be fair, and I don't see the problem. Okay, like that was not rage-filled, but let's check out their rage-filled response, because problems with everything, right? He also refers to activists as, quote, firebrands, and says that people have become, quote, hysterical. He's had to change his behavior because it's a revolution. Well, sir, you've certainly not changed your Twitter behavior, which remains repugnant. And in general, not putting your arm around a fan at a convention without consent is probably a good thing, but it doesn't mean you're exempt from critique if you're espousing terrible things online and treating women and their concerns as being hysterical. If you can't see why someone's saying, would you make love to me, is different than, would you do an interview, then there's a problem. The latter question is a professional one, while the other one is deeply personal and shouldn't be asked unless you know the person well, and that's an element to your relationship. Consent is
in the song!
Yeah, I know. Consent is a two-way street, and asking a woman or man if they want to sleep with you out of the blue, it wasn't out of the blue.
It wasn't out of the blue.
It wasn't out of the blue.
The song.
Yeah. Or if you think you've been getting signals when they've just been polite or professional, is creepy and invasive. No, if, ands, or buts about it. Shatner's comments are disheartening, but not entirely surprising based on his previous comments. He's just become a grumpy old white man, cis-het white man. Get it?
The worst.
The worst.
The Caucasoid hellhounds. Will they never stop?
Who's full of dislike and distaste for social progress, which we here at the Mary Sue exemplify.
Ugh.
Which would only hurt, only slightly less, if he hadn't played such an important figure of non-toxic masculinity. Because, let's be honest here, Captain James Kirk would never behave like this. There's an episode in which Alien Charlie gets a lesson in consent, and you guessed it, from Jim Kirk. Yeah, I remember that, but it's because he slapped her on the ass because he had absolutely no interaction. He had literally never been around human beings before that moment. And he found himself attracted to a woman, and he thought it was okay to grab her. And he's like, you just can't grab women, Charlie. So way to pick and choose. But, he's also part of Starfleet that doesn't allow women to be captains. I notice you're not complaining about that, but this is cherry picking, right? If Jim Kirk heard about the hashtag Me Too movement, which he technically know about already because it would have been part of Earth's history.
Wait. Starfleet doesn't allow women captains? Captain Janeway.
Not at the TOS time period. They didn't.
Oh, all right.
Which itself doesn't make sense because Enterprise, which takes place before the TOS time period, does have female captains. So they're sort of stuck in a hard spot to explain that. But
no, they learned from their mistakes. Those dizzy broads don't know how to drive a ship.
I know, right? They'll end up crashing into a whole bunch of other stuff trying to make a light space jump when getting the rest of your army killed.
Yeah, they're trying to put their lipstick on.
Space Hitler.
Space Hitler.
It's disappointing to see your heroes turn out like this. I wish Shatner weren't such a disservice to what his characters stood for.
His character stood for banging a lot of people.
It's fucking amazing.
Have
you guys noticed that the Mary Sue has changed to what's her name? Uhura? Lieutenant Uhura.
They have a whole bunch of different icons like that. If you scroll through it'll change. Yeah.
Well, that's enough of these fucking guys. I can't do anymore.
The Mary Sue is the worst ever.
Yeah, it really is.
Check out the GoFundMe I'm going to be setting up for Polydub to get a subscription.
It's not funny. Seriously, throw it down the sewer. It'd be better.
Yeah. Oh, Mike asked me a question in the chat. I am not looking forward to GoBots. It's a terrible book. It was one of the worst things I've read in a really long time, and the art looks like a middle schooler drew it. Just wanted to get that out.
Ryan Walters brings up a good point here. Although I do have to correct you because
I technically am on the left. Wasn't it the left that's been pushing for casual sex over the last decade, but all of a sudden it's inappropriate to ask for consent to sex? These people are lunatics. They're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, and this sort of thing that's happening is spitting in the face of everything that has come before, and all of the, dare I say it, progress that has been made to try and destigmatize that sort of behavior. They're sex negative feminists. Feminists are always bad, regardless of either left or right.
Yes, it's amazing how retrograde they think, because you can tell these people aren't real nerds. They're just infiltrating, because it doesn't seem like this woman's seen any episodes of Star Trek ever. Yeah. She's just aware of it and decided she likes it.
But this is the Mary Sue, is that we're just going to grab onto things occasionally that support the kind of bitching that we want to do. I was about to say ideology, but it's not ideology. It's just the griping, bitching, and belly aching that they want to do. I mean, you called him Kyle Ren.
Yeah.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm amazed you didn't call him Jimmy Kirkoid or something, just not knowing who the guy is.
That's what you can't win with these people either. So even if they like Shatner were to tone it down, you've already committed your sin. So you're never going to be forgiven.
I'm looking at this article right here. Like I said, I wouldn't do anymore, but I'm just going to talk about one sentence as an example. It's like the top grossing movies of 2018 say a lot about our era. Oh my God, your name is Hailstern. But in any case, they're talking about, it's the year of Black Panther, et cetera, et cetera. Check this out. Okay. Black Panther is openly political, with Eric Killmonger's plan to liberate black people from centuries of oppression. Yes, that was his role. And his plan on
villain.
Yeah, and he's the villain who murdered hundreds of people to get an opportunity to engage in one-on-one combat with the
dictator,
with the rightfully holding dictator of Wakanda. You know what I mean? Like, it's the monarchical leader of Wakanda, and I want to kill him in one-on-one combat. And he killed hundreds of his own people to get there, as seen by his scarification. You know what I mean? So it's like, this isn't a nice guy. And his plan for liberating black people is to funnel Wakandan weaponry everywhere in the world without any regard to how it's used. Let's just dump them with guns. Super fancy vibranium-based ray guns. Like, and this is to relieve them of centuries of oppression. And since you like the politics inside of Black Panther so much, how about when T'Challa says, no, we can't have them come here. Immigrants bring their problems with them. Did you like those politics, Mary Sue? Or did you just ignore that part of the film? Or did you not even see the fucking film?
Well, I don't think Angela Merkel saw it.
Well, that would make two of us, Polly, because I didn't see it either.
You would have noticed that part of the movie. It's like, wait a minute, Wakanda's like this paradise. Why don't you just bring like all of like you're surrounded by war-torn nations that have been living under military dictatorships.
So those are hate facts, Polly. Hate facts.
And colonialism at that, like actual colonialism. And it's like, well, why? And T'Challa's sister, I believe it is in that scene, says, why don't we just let all of them come here, or a bunch of them come here? And it's like, no, immigrants bring their problems with them. And that doesn't solve their problems. It just translates their problems from where they're at to here. Like, we want to help them where they're at. And then when the one main white character in the film, the CIA guy, I forget his name, first meets T'Challa's sister, she calls him colonist. Colonial. I don't understand that at all. It's like, but Wakanda's never been colonized. Why would she even understand that term? Nah, we're being funny because we want to, you know. Anyway, ignore the politics within that film because it fits your narrative. Why not?
Make Wakanda great again.
I don't want to do this Forever 21 story. Do you? I don't want to do it.
Well, what it means. Okay, here. Wait, let me look something up real quick.
Yeah, Johnny Hellcat's or Mike Parlett actually is right. Nationalism, protectionism. That's the Wakandan way. Nationalism is fine when the Wakandans are doing it. Anyone else, you're Nazis.
Africax. Not Africans, Africax. Like Latinx.
Oh, that's
and I will argue until my dying breath that it's not Latinx, it's not Latinx, it's Latinx. They're the Mexican X-Men.
Yeah.
Mexican X-Men.
Shit. The closest one is in Killdeer. That's the closest one. Yeah, I was gonna say, because you know, you could always, you know, ship your entire stock Forever 21 to Wakanda, Illinois. Then you know, everyone in Wakanda can get clothed and have it be literally going to Wakandans.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But the closest one is in on Rand Road in Killdeer.
Is Wakanda, Illinois entirely populated by LGBT POCAIPs?
I would hope so. Otherwise, it's going to have a lot of social justice issues. That and immigration issues too.
Do they have the thing that made Wakanda in the film successful? Namely, like a meteoric element that's super valuable and powerful and only available to them?
They hold the record for the largest snowball fight.
That's great. That's actually a great record.
They had 3,000 people participating in a snowball fight, which, you know, grabs them the world record.
I like it. That's actually a great thing to have a record for.
They also had part of the Blues Brothers film filmed in the village of Wakanda.
Oh.
That is sad that that's the best they're known for.
Not really. I mean, it's not even a town. It's a village. It could be worse. It could be a hamlet.
Yeah. You know? They're right on the border with Wisconsin, dude. Give them a break.
So, Jack, did you want to run with this fangirls theory on Siffy?
No, I don't care. I lost interest and closed the tab.
Well, reopen it because this Krampus picture is worth showing. It's pretty horrifying, I think.
With him stuffing the child down into the wicker basket?
Yeah.
That, or it looks like he's bending him over a table to do something rather unfortunate to him.
Well, he's not Catholic.
Ouch.
The theory is, this is from Fangirls on Sapphire Wire, which is just total garbage, man.
It's pronounced Siffy.
Whatever.
Girls.
Hallmark movies are actually anti-Krampus fertility rituals.
Well, why did they bring up the Wicker Man? I was just scrolling down.
They bring up the Wicker Man?
We'll get there. Don't peek ahead. Don't ruin it. Romance, like any genre, has many splendid things.
The spoiler guy.
I know. I'm reading.
All right.
Romance, like any genre, is a many-splendored thing, and its riffs, subversions, and adherence to its own formulas, tropes, and cliches regenerate a unique and flavorful narrative. That was one sentence.
Well, okay. As verbose as that is, it's still a sentence, and Princess Weeks can definitely learn from it.
Well, Claire McBride should tutor her, but we all know Princess Weeks is one of Gail Simone's cats.
Yes.
Genre fiction is famously flexible and broad, making even the lesser examples a tasty treat. That's a disturbing image.
Ooh.
I, myself, as a fantasy freak par excellence, purchased Aragon on DVD recently because I am both 1,000 years old and a lover of terrible fantasy films. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but here we are.
What? Wait, Aragon makes you 1,000 years old? Didn't that come out in like 2005?
Yes, but it was also the movie adaptation was really bad, and it was just Star Wars. If you watch it close, it's Star Wars with Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
But the made-for-TV holiday romance, as seen on Lifetime and Hallmark, is an incredibly specific formula within the genre. Among those fields of brown-haired men who may or may not be Santas, my Santa, or Nutcrackers, A Nutty Christmas, a common story emerges. A woman from the city, likely employed in a fantasy of a job, is brought to a small town through misadventure. There she discovers the true meaning of Christmas, and it's always Christmas. Family, community, and love, all in one fell swoop, and forsakes her big city life for one brown-haired man in a town, and the town as a whole, in a very specific formula. One might even say ritualistic specific. And that leads to the following conclusion. The constant production, distribution, and consumption of these films is part of a powerful and successful annual fertility ritual to ward off Krampus. Yes, this is the type of conspiracy theory I would come up with. I respect that. Krampus here being
make this a book, Jack. Right there.
I know, right? Krampus here being a metaphor for every mammal's greatest instinctual fear, to die alone in the woods on a cold, dark night. No, I would think clowns would be worse. And of course, the Central European Christmas goat demon, who would punish us gruesomely for our trespasses if he could only ford the river of made-for-TV holiday romances to get us. And look, he's so happy. Look at him.
Yeah, he's wearing lederhosen. You can't be can't be angry when you're wearing lederhosen.
Right? It's not possible. He's even got a little thing here to punish these evil children.
Yeah, little switches to smack them.
Yeah, go cut me a switch, boy. I first discovered that's what my grandfather used to say. I first discovered the true meaning of made-for-TV holiday romance as a young woman. My comedy coven and I were ensconced in the bowels of a building built in the 1800s, watching the Lifetime holiday film Holiday in Handcuffs.
Comedy coven?
I think we might have found some witches here.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure they're large enough to float. If you're not familiar with Holiday in Handcuffs, currently streaming on Hulu, it's a nice plug. If it's a film in which Melissa Joan Hart is so embarrassed that her man dumped her before a planned visit to her folks that she kidnaps Mario Lopez and holds him captive. That's wacky. Despite being in a situation that would garner universal sympathy, especially from one's own family, this woman decides to, I will say it again, hold a Saved by a Bell alum against his will in her family's home. And then they fall in love. Yeah, that was called misery.
Well, I was going to say, that's called Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah. Heterosexual dating rituals baffle and confuse me, but even I could tell that this was beyond the pale.
Okay, well, that's telling.
Jesus.
Dating rituals are kind of the same, I would think, for everyone.
Yeah.
You want to bang? Okay, cool. Something more was at stake here other than the need to reassure one's sires that their bloodline will continue. I needed answers.
Well, Lord knows yours aren't.
Yeah. Well, I then turned to my most trusted historical resource, Nick Cage.
What?
What is going on?
I don't know. I'm telling you, I could have wrote this and it would have come out very similar. Like, this will never get published.
Well, Jack, I think you've got insight into the lunatic mind.
Yeah, well, here we are. Ever since National Treasure, I trusted his historical acumen. However, his holiday films, The Family Man, The Christmas Carol, Trapped in Paradise, yielded nothing. It was only when I went to warm my hands and heart with a screening of The Wicker Man that I realized I had been looking in the wrong direction.
Oh, The Wicker Man, the best heartwarming film ever.
Yeah, and you watched the wrong version of The Wicker Man. The original with Edward Woodward was a far superior film.
Well, of course, because that's an actually good movie. The Nicolas Cage one you do for the lulz.
I don't even know about that. It just makes me sad.
Yeah.
Much like the conflagration of the climax of the film, these movies are modern-day fertility rites. There's Nicolas Cage. All winter holidays are a protest against the dying of the light, from the religious Hanukkah to the spiritual solstice to the actively self-destructive SantaCon. Fertility rites performed by humans since time immemorial aim to encourage the fertility of the natural world by inspiring it with people's own fertility rites, if you know what I mean. Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious.
I think she wants to fuck Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, probably. Well, I don't know. She might be batting the other way.
Yeah.
Looking at Holiday in Handcuffs, it becomes obvious. Made-for-TV holiday romances are meant to encourage the return of the light by pantomiming fertility. That's every Hallmark movie. Not just the holiday ones. But not just any fertility. A long-term relationship or marriage that enriches both participants and values nature and community. And failing to do so could result in the end of the world. This explains... Is that a little over the top?
No. It's fine.
This explains why the mother in a holiday engagement, the much less kidnappy Hallmark version of Holiday in Handcuffs, is so hell-bent on seeing her daughters marry that one of her daughters would rather hire an actor to play her fiancé over Thanksgiving rather than deal with her wrath. It is only her wrath that she fears. To successfully perform the ritual, our protagonist, often a woman from the big city with intangible skills like lawyering or a steady job in media-ing.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Must divest themselves from the idolatry and idolescence of the city and learn how to live among the common folk. Christmas inheritance's Ellen Langford has no idea what a hot water bottle is. But by the end of the movie, she's embraced the cozy Christmas obsession of Snow Falls and her one brown-haired man. The mother/daughter duo of Rodeo and Juliet both find love with appropriately aged cowboys and find the beauty in nature as represented by barrel-riding horse rodeo.
Who the fuck else is completely lost? I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It doesn't have to make sense, Polly. Just go with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just word salad at this point, Polly. It's fine. Just roll
like
it.
this is okay. All right.
This is the padding for the college paper that has like 3 paragraphs.
Yeah,
I need 5 more pages. But I'm so entertained by this. I feel compelled to keep going. Bear with me. And I'd like to stress that the ritual itself is not sexist. We just live in a culture where women being like entire people.
Oh, she did it too. But okay, she sandwiched it between commas though, Polly.
Yes.
So, that means that she is a better writer.
Slightly better. Let me start over. And I'd like to stress that the ritual itself is not sexist. We just live in a culture where women being like entire people is anxiety inducing enough to generate enough narrative conflict to get these movies from minute 1 to minute 90, hence their dominance as the actor in these rituals. We just don't view women as people.
No.
The issue is those who perform the ritual, not the ritual itself. For example, Naughty and Nice's city person is Pepper Sterling, an LA radio DJ, once assigned as punishment to Idlewild, Colorado. He falls in love with his co-host for small town values. Even Pepper, who looks so much like Dane Cook that I did a double take and took a great deal of time to come around to. Haley Duff's ability to evaluate all her material definitely played a huge part in that. Is able to contribute to the fight against Krampus. Oh God, we're near the end. At its best, we barely notice the ritual. A Christmas Calendar is delightfully camp and hits the beats without hitting the audience over the head. I've seen this movie, actually. My mom watched it. It's awful.
Yeah.
Also, the love interest is an enthusiastic French Hufflepuff who can't bring himself to pick a fight with Laura Bell Bundy, even though she specifically wants one. Wow.
Is that just like a turn of phrase that she's using a fucking Harry Potter reference there?
I doubt it. I don't know.
Or did she like go through the process of trying to evaluate his personality and came up with the fact that he should have been in Hufflepuff? That's like an extra level of psycho.
I fear the answers to these questions. Wow, I feel alarmingly seen in this extremely heterosexual land.
Oh, God.
At its worst, it's the reason for these movies' many missteps, ranging from women disregarding their own safety in the pursuit of a man for the holidays to aggressively shortened timelines. You know this guy for the weeks at best. Why are you marrying him? Well, that's just a question we all ask.
Oh, yeah.
But it all remains deeply enjoyable, which is good. These rituals must be witnessed in great quantities to resist the dark powers of the Krampus. Do they work? Well, I'll just say there hasn't been a Krampus attack around here in years.
Or ever, because he don't real.
Shh, hate fact. That's your colonialist science that you need to decolonize, buddy. This holiday season, allow yourself to enjoy and watch as many of these films guilt-free. Your viewing might be the difference between a Krampus-free world and a Krampus-full one.
I want a Krampus-full world.
It's
beginning to look a lot like a Krampus-full world.
That was awful.
You asked for it, Polly.
I'm just mad now. I'm actually.
You asked for it.
Yeah.
That was really upsetting.
I love it.
Oh, for the love of God, let's just move on to fucking.
See what happens when you let me find the articles.
But yeah, well, fair warning. All right, I have been warned. I know now.
I could have sworn that Jack, you just like stopped saying words halfway into the article, and we're just going.
That's what I mean. Like I had a real hard time paying attention to what you were saying, and I was working at it. I'm like, I'm gonna close my eyes and focus while he's.
Hey, I had to read it. How do you think I felt?
Holy shit.
All I got from that was this person believes in the Krampus. However ridiculous the concept is that she knows is ridiculous, and that she's gay.
Yeah, that's all I got out of it.
That's all I got out of it.
About 2 paragraphs in, I think it just said paycheck, 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 paycheck for like a page and a half.
The padding I need to do for my college paper.
Yep.
You nailed it, dude. You nailed it.
I guarantee you this was a college paper that just got turned into the editor and was like, yeah, this is an article now. Give me money. Give me my $5.
All right. Oh my God. That's just
I broke Polly.
You did, man. I got nothing now. I've so lost the plot of what we're like. Who are you people? What are we doing here?
Like Johnny says in the chat, someone let Lord Meowington touch the keyboard.
All right.
I just need to get Jake on my computer and write an article for me, and then I can be a millionaire.
Let's do pitches. Let's do something related to sensical storylines. Fuck, I can't even word anymore after that. It was just such a horrible misuse of the English language that I feel I can't even speak properly anymore.
I don't think she did enough service to the Krampus, theme there. She really barely tied it in. She could have really taken it somewhere and made it really fun, but
I mean, what are the consequences of the Krampus coming back? I mean, are you like, what if all of those movies end up being awful and no one watches them? I mean, is the fact that the movie exists enough to keep the Krampus away, or do people have to actually watch it?
I don't know.
Johnny Hellcat's like Krampus plus gay plus Nicolas Cage equals Mary Sue article. Yeah, well,
Siffy article, but
Siffy article, yeah. But
thing.
I was about to say it would have to be Krampus plus gay plus Nicolas Cage plus pointless outrage. Then, and only then would it be a Mary Sue article.
What I find most alarming is that there is a massive plot hole in her theory. because the people that watch Hallmark movies are usually middle-aged or older, so they're not the ones having the kids.
Yeah.
Hallmark movies aren't made for people in their 20s. They're made for people in their 40s.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's go into pitches. So, who would like to go first?
You.
No. I mean, I could if you want.
Well, have you chosen one?
Yeah.
Oh.
I chose one a while ago.
I'm just saying, you know, this is the sort of thing that you can expect, though, you know, that word salad from someplace that has fangirls.
Yeah, they didn't even spell girls right.
Are you going to talk about their tiny girl brains again?
I can.
We're geeking like girls, guys.
Well, it's
geek like a girl. So you're going to pretend that you like something so your boyfriend will shut up about it?
All right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go first then. Fine.
Haha, we worked. We did it.
We're in the upside down. Polly's going first.
And my pitch for today is actually a collected edition of what was originally a 5-issue series. Star Trek Year 4 from IDW.
Oh.
As you may or may not know, the original series was, Kirk's intro was the Enterprise on its 5-year mission, but it only ran 3 seasons. So IDW called this this little limited series of 5 issues, Year 4, written by DC Fontana. Dorothy Fontana was one of the original writers of the original Star Trek series, and it shows in a big way. If you're a fan of TOS, if you're a fan of things that are really Star Trek-y, this is an awesome read. And as a collected edition, it absolutely reads like a graphic novel from beginning to end. It's very wordy. It's very Trekky. There's a lot of plot to it.
How much technobabble?
That's Trek-no-babble.
Never say that again, please.
The Enterprise, the Enterprise Experiment is the name of it, which is a takeoff on the original series. I can't word anymore after that Krampus article. It really did a number on me.
The character models are on point. They did really good at drawing the
through the art is great. And this is a good example of IDW having incredible licenses at their disposal and not doing very much with them. This originally came out in 2008. This collected edition is from 2014 that I got. And oh man, it looks great. The coloring looks great. And like you just said, Quiz, everything's on model. It's fantastic. And IDW just continues to fail, unfortunately. But in this case, they brought on a great artist and a great writer in the form of DC Fontana to do it. It's called the Enterprise Experiment because it's based largely around an original series episode called the Enterprise Incident, where, in short, they go through this espionage story to steal a cloaking device from the Romulans because they can't accept that the Romulans have developed a cloaking device. So they go into this.
Excuse me, they are culturally appropriating it from the Romulans.
They do. They do. It's military thievery. Is they go through this like undercover operation to steal the cloaking device from the Romulans, the prototype of the cloaking device from the Romulans that they've gotten wind that they have, because it would be disastrous for them if the Romulans had that technical capacity. So anyway, that's what the story is largely based around, but it interweaves with another story where the Preservers are a race inside of the original series, and then connects with another story where the Organians forced the Klingon Empire and the Federation into a peace accord, and this tells the story of how they break the peace accord. Ooh, that one's a little off model. Ooh. You can't have everything. But again, if you love original series Star Trek or just want a fun, interesting espionage read, because that's a lot of what's going on in this story, I highly recommend this. It's going for $14 as a collected edition, 136 pages and a glossy. You can't lose. That's
so
pretty good.
It's a big win in a lot of ways, but I did want to show you guys one picture.
That's cheaper than 2 first issues of Uncanny X-Men.
Look, Fox pumping the funk. It looks like he's in the middle of like a DJ set. It does. He's really feeling the rhythm, man. The beats are thumping. The audience is going crazy.
Kurt's coming up behind him going like, dude, turn that the fuck down. I'm trying to sleep.
I love that picture so much. So yeah, this is him inside of the Preservers monument that was set up. Long story. If you know TOS stuff, it's a great throwback. But having had read it, you actually don't need to know the original episodes at all to enjoy it. It's a really well-written 5-issue series by DC Fontana. But like I said, it's best read as the collected edition because it's only like 13, 14 bucks. You could probably find it used, and it's brand new on Amazon for 14. So you can't go wrong for 136 glossy pages of well-written, well-drawn material. So that's my pitch.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, who's up next?
I'll go.
All right, what do you got for us, Jack?
Let's see. G.I. Joe Volume 1, Issue 26.
Oh, he one-upped you. You guys are talking about G.I. Joe at the start, and then Paul's like, I'm going to go and pitch G.I. Joe.
I was thinking of like stealing it, but
I thought about that, but I had a backup just in case. Because this is the origin of Snake Eyes, and it's 2 of the best issues of 1980s G.I. Joe comics, written, of course, by Larry Hama, who is awesome. And we learned Snake Eyes and Scarlet's connection and how they know each other. And, of course, some relationship with Storm Shadow. But there's also issue 144, where they retell the origin with more detail.
Really? I didn't know.
Yeah, they changed a little bit, but not much. And we learned a little bit more about that accident that made Snake Eyes get burned and mute. So it actually adds a little more detail. This is actually a very hard to find issue. And if you see it cheap, pick it up. At one point, this was going for like 50 or 60 bucks. I think it's down to like 25 or something now. But it was a real low print run at this time. But these issues were really good. I know you could pick up 26 and 27 for about 20 bucks a piece. But if you get a chance to read these, I also recommend picking up 144 because it adds a little bit more to the story and adds a little more connection between Scarlet and Snake Eyes. Because really, he got screwed up because of her.
Okay,
but
so what happens in the story? This make me want.
Well, I don't want to ruin it. I want people to go buy it.
Well, okay, but you got to tell them something to. This is a pitch. You're supposed to tease the flavors, not just
the
say.
Origin of Snake Eyes should be enough to get people to buy it. Snake Eyes was in Vietnam, and you can see some of the other people here. Was that Stalker and that's Storm Shadow. And Snake Eyes' family died while he was away at war. And that's really how he got recruited into the Joes. But he got disfigured trying to save Scarlet, whose strap got caught on the helicopter. And 2 helicopters collided, and the resulting shrapnel and explosion disfigured him and muted him. And we really learned a lot. It really goes into a lot more detail. I don't want to spoil anything because I don't want to be like quiz and ruin stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
But the art is fantastic. The storytelling was a lot of fun. It's handled very well. It's not dumbed down. You know, as a kid reading it, I didn't feel like I was being talked down to. But it's a very adult story, and it's kind of dark. Like Snake Eyes' origin is really sad.
It is, actually. You're right.
But if you're going to get them, they have been reprinted in various omnibuses over the years. I know IDW has the G.I. Joe license, and they did republish them a few years ago. So if you get a chance to pick up the collected volume, make sure that you get the one that's got 26 and 27, and then jump ahead and try and track this one down as well, because this really adds a little bit more to it.
I love how on 144 there it says the untold origin. Just don't don't look for 26 and 27.
Yeah. Just don't go back in time, because this is the real untold origin. No, they do re-encapsulate a lot of what happened in 26 and 27, but it adds a little more detailing to what happened after the helicopter crash.
Gotcha.
Cool. No, great storyline. Very memorable. So what do you got for his quiz?
It's still December, so it's still chapter approved month. My copy of chapter approved 2018 is on its way. It'll probably be in tomorrow. So hell yeah. I'm going to be pitching some more Warhammer stuff, and my pitch today is Eternal War. Now, this is a graphic novel collection. On the cover here, you can see it's got a space wolf with a heavy bolter. There's no space wolves in this at all. Essentially, it is a collection of short stories. They're only I want to say 6 or 7 pages long, and they all tell an encapsulated story within the characters of this. They're originally, all of these stories were collected in the Inferno magazine, which was the magazine that they ran several comic strips for Warhammer. This one in particular is my favorite. It's got a guardsman bunkered down in a foxhole with a whole bunch of slave alien creatures, moving in on his regiment for the kill when the aliens get vaporized, and there's 2 space marines here to reinforce. And it's all he needs to take on an entire army of the Dark Eldar as they ambush the lone surviving guardsman, and the Space Marines proceed to kill every single one of the Dark Eldar. It's amazing. It's very much in the vein of Warhammer. And yeah, I say, if you want a way to springboard into a lot of the story of it, you don't need to read several different novels to be able to get into it. You just read these short stories. It's more than enough to be able to get you interested in the universe. So yeah, my pitch is Eternal War.
Cool.
Okay.
Published by Black Library.
Oh, well, shit.
But will it fight off the Krampus?
No, it'll probably summon the Krampus with how grimdark the Warhammer universe is.
Sad.
Cracked says for Sanguinius. Well, you know what? That's the Space Marine chapter that I play, dude.
Okay.
I'll post on my Twitter. I'll post a picture of the chaplain I just finished painting not too long ago.
All right. There's 2 stories that I said in the description that we were going to cover, and we didn't cover them. So rather than edit them, I'm going to do a poly read of both of these stories. Watch this. This is how fast I can sum up these 2 fuckery stories. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just share my screen here with our super professionalism. Okay. Forever 21, a story you shouldn't go in because fuck them. They have this sweater, Wakanda Forever. It's ugly as fuck, and they got a regular model. See this model? He looks like 90% of the fucking models and all of the fucking, he's a skinny little fucking weirdo looking guy. Okay, a whole bunch of racist fuckers online are really pissed off about it because, hey, white man wearing a Wakanda sweater and we're fucking racist. So, you know, what the fuck? Take it off, scumbag. But don't forget to buy the merch because we totally want white people to buy the merch. And then these fucking morons over on comicbook.com actually had the idiocy to fucking say something so fucking stupid as, it just feels like that, considering the film is about a black superhero, it probably should have featured on a black model. What?
Well, it's funny because there's another sweater that does, you know, is modeled on a black model,
which they say Forever 21 does feature on their website, and it's like, you know, okay, good for them. But you know, but let's get mad about the fucking blonde-haired, pale white guy here wearing the Wakanda sweater. We want you to buy it, but we don't want you to see it. Okay, listen, if you have a problem with this, you're a fucking racist. There's no other fucking way around it. Comicbook.com for saying this. It's a film with a black superhero. Therefore, it should have had a black model. You're fucking racists. There's no fucking way around it. It's not a joke. We kid around about race. You people are fucking sick. You need to get a fucking grip.
Did they say anything about the fact that like small Asian children probably made that?
No, they didn't mention that, and they certainly didn't say anything about, well, that's a white superhero, so what the fuck is that black model doing wearing that? Because that would have been stupid as fuck. As stupid as fuck is what you just said here, you fucking moron. Now, bounding into comics, I covered Eric Esquivel. This guy's a fucking scumbag. He's fucking rapey as fuck. He's fucking trying to screw a bunch of fucking teenagers, and he's been up to it for fucking years. He's also the writer of this fucking horrible comic that we've covered here called Border Town. He's a racist too. How's he a racist? I know it sounds like I'm calling everyone a racist, but it's not my fault. They are fucking racists. That comic is fucking awful. Every fucking white person in it is a fucking scumbag 3%er. Yeah, Charlie, let's go get them there fucking immigrants out of our country. And every fucking POC is friendly as fuck to each other, and all they do is sit around and talk about race all day long. And that's welcome to Border Town. Now, this scumbag who promotes himself as such a social justice guy turns out to be grooming fucking 16-year-olds and trying to fuck every young woman that he can find, and all his creepy DMs come out. Now, a bunch of comic skaters were talking about this in their videos, but nobody paid attention, especially the Grinch of comic skate, namely Renfimus. Now, when the story does come out, they all turn around and say, okay, well, yeah, the guy's totally fucking rapey and he's a scumbag and we shouldn't have associated with him, even though we've been warned about him for years, but you guys shouldn't be weaponizing these women's victimness. You know, it just shows what a bunch of fucking scumbags they all are. The series Border Town is now going to be canceled after its 5th issue because the color, like it was going to be canceled for lack of sales anyway. The only people that were buying it were people like us that were buying it to fucking roast the shit. Yeah. Go broke. Nobody fucking buys these fucking things. And so anyway, this guy with massive fucking ear holes and a tattoo that he shouldn't have, that's reminiscent of the comic that Jack just covered, is a retard. And you should read his fucking response on Twitter after being fucking accused of these things. He's like, I've recently been accused of misconduct by a former romantic partner. No, not misconduct, of being a scumbag creeper, like in the worst fucking way possible. Not recent misconduct which allegedly happened many years ago. Out of respect for her and our prior relationship, I will not publicly name names. This fucking guy went on to blame pop culture for everything, namely James Bond, the Fonz from fucking Happy Days, and who else? I don't
remember who the other one was.
Toxic masculinity.
Let me point out something real quick. He said, out of respect for our former relationship. As what, victimizer and victim?
Victim, yeah.
The whole thing has gone to fucking hell in the same way it did with the fucking Forever 21 thing. Because, by the way, they took that tweet down and apologized if it offended anyone. The only people it offended were people that were permanently offended and showed up offended to begin with and were just looking for something to blame their hurt feelings and empty soul on. And this is the fucking same thing going on over here. This guy's went fucking around and screwing around a Tamara Bond villain, who's the colorist on Border Town, that fuckery series, and whatever the other fucking guy's name is, the guy who can't draw people, who penciled it. Bill said, well, we had heard rumors about this guy, but we thought that, you know, and DC's all worried about how this is going to reflect on them because they've turned Vertigo into their little social justice thing. The series was never going to last. It turns out that everyone you fucking hired was a scumbag. Guess what? All these social justice warriors are wolves in sheep clothing. What a fucking shock. All right. There.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Oh, yeah. And there's the other fucking thing. It's the people are either running away from this guy or saying now suddenly anti-Kavanaugh like stuff along the anti-Kavanaugh in the sense of, well, we should really, you know, this is alleged. We don't know that he did this. Oh, all of a sudden when it's a friend of yours and a social justice warrior, a fellow person who's willing to publish anything hateful about white people because somehow that's woke. Fuck, you just race always fucking everywhere.
You could always take the other approach like Gail Simone and deny and then get caught out by the fact that you've referenced him, several times, going all the way back to 2011 or 2010, 2011?
Yeah.
Something like that. I've never met Eric Esquivel ever. Hey, Eric, do you want to talk about this charity drive? Hey, Eric, how do you feel about writing comics? And do you feel the comic book writer to reader, connection, blah, blah, blah. Oh, but I've never met him before ever.
You're a liar, Gail, and you've been found out.
Yeah, if you go back and read his statements, which have been archived by some people on the Wayback Machine, it sounds like the most deflecting, self-serving response to a situation like this that would make you sound guilty.
Well, he's stuck in this position where he has to be like, hashtag me too. I support it all the way, but I myself am accused, but I totally want to deny it, but I don't want to deny it because I support hashtag. He's in this impossible fucking situation. And it's a situation of his own making.
Feminist.
Well, I don't feel bad for him because it's a situation of his own making. You're a rapey, creepy weirdo, allegedly, but yet you're running around talking about, like, I believe all women when they're accusing people of things. Well, you kind of painted yourself into a corner here, moron. And Tamara Bond villain, who couldn't say fucking anything about it, trans superhero that she is like, oh, I heard all of these things about this guy, and I believe everything that everyone says. But when DC told me not to say anything, I didn't say anything. But now I'm leaving the comic because I have to stand up for my values. What happened to your values when you were excited to be working with this guy? All these people are bullshit artists. All these people are virtue signalers. Fuck you, Forever 21, with your racist ass fucking garbage. Fuck you, comicbook.com, insinuating that somebody shouldn't be wearing an article of clothing because of the color of their skin. You can't get out of that. You're fucking racist. Border Town and fucking Vertigo, you let a fucking racist write your fucking comic book, and he turned out to be a rapey, creepy weirdo, allegedly. And now all of you fucking morons are scrambling to protect your social justice image. You're all fake fucks. Fuck every one of you. There. I'm done.
I agree.
Yeah, amen. As Jack Gunsky said in the chat, yes, release your anger.
Can I get a hallelujah?
No, we need Rancy Polly more often. That's fine.
Yeah, no, right? I like it.
All right. So, now that we just
I mean, he even looks like a piece of shit. Sorry.
That's a really smarmy picture, this guy.
Yeah. Right. Well, every one of his pictures makes him look smarmy. He's got the, I'm so awesome.
I'm surprised you're not, you haven't mentioned the fact that he's got the Federation symbol right above his G.I. Joe symbol.
Oh my God, I didn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't either. Holy shit.
He's got the Starfleet Delta right there.
Yep.
Jesus.
Ruining fandom one tattoo at a time.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this is somehow like an occult symbol, and like Styx, Hex, and Hammer will go after him. I want all the people. I want all the people to go after this guy. And it's not just him; it's every one of these fuckers with their bullshit. I mean, like, seriously, how the fuck is this not racist as fuck? It's a film about a black superhero. You probably should have had a black model. And you know who else said that? You know who else said that? Fucking Philly D. That fake ass fence sitting cocksucker. Somebody DM me his video from today when he's talking about this fucking thing. And he said, well, I don't really know if that was the right choice. And then rolls back or walks back on his own fucking opinion at the end of it when he's going into his whole Philly D shill mode with, well, I'd like to hear your opinions. However, I think that because of the significance of Black Panther, that this isn't a one-to-one comparison, that maybe black people shouldn't be wearing white superhero stuff. It's like, Phil, you're full of shit. You're the guy who agrees with everything. You're looking to protect your fucking brand. You don't have opinions. You have shills. All of these fucking people, man.
Well, I don't understand why the company would backtrack, because they want to market to the largest possible audience. Why wouldn't they want everyone wearing these?
They do want everyone wearing them. It's just the image, and that's what I'm saying. It's like white people don't publicly wear this, but totally buy this, and it's like that makes no fucking sense. You're a bunch of racist pricks.
Yeah, but to be fair though, it wasn't Forever 21 that was getting their panties in a twist over it. It was comicbook.com.
I know, but I mean, they backtracked and apologized, and they shouldn't have. They should. No, this is for everyone.
Every single person that ever gets into these sorts of situations needs to learn 3 words whenever anyone gets their panties in a twist over anything that you've said or done. Go fuck yourself. 3 most important words you will ever need to say to anyone.
Yeah, the response, like, I don't believe that the pendulum has swung far enough in the direction, because the accusations of, Nazis under your bed at night, racists are everywhere, blah, 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 blah.
There's like Nazis under my bed.
This is the thing that I think so many people miss. When you identify everything as racism, all the way down to stupid shit like this, you diminish what actual racism really is.
Oh, absolutely. And they're going to keep doing it too, because they haven't learned that.
And it's like, are you having fun watering down this thing that you think is so fucking horrible by pretending that it's happening everywhere at all times, just so you can point your fucking moralizing finger and feel fucking superior? And then, you know, fucking Forever 21 is just looking to sell fucking sweaters. That's all they're fucking doing. So they took that. I'm sure that the model that they fucking picked and the sweater they put on them, they didn't even make the fucking connection. It's only morons out there that are scanning for some reason to be angry that located it. You know what I mean? And I know there's people all over Twitter that are on some, oh, well, they shouldn't, you know, look, I'm sorry. There's no way around it. And there's no way to explain it. And there's no Philly D garbage one-to-one. It's not a one-to-one comparison bullshit. If you've got a problem with somebody wearing a shirt because of the color of their skin, you're a fucking racist.
Yep.
That's it. I don't care
what butts. Yeah.
Like I bring up slavery, oppression, the social justice stack, whatever the fuck rigmarole you want to go through. You've got a problem with someone wearing a sweater because of the color of their skin. You can't get out of that. You're a fucking racist.
Yeah. Testify.
Anyway.
Hallelujah.
I feel that I have run amok for long enough.
Okay, so, it's given me an idea, though. And I need somebody that's in chat to tweet this to me that has better Photoshop skills than me. I wanted somebody to take the Quaker Oats logo and superimpose the NPC meme over the Quaker guy's face. Because that's what they are. They're moral Puritans from the 1700s trying to tell us what to do because we're not allowed to have fun anymore. Which is why the Quakers ate oatmeal, and that's why they were so good at it, because it's bland and boring, and any sort of pleasure was verboten. So if somebody could do that for me, I'd appreciate it.
Verboten. Good word. Nobody uses that word anymore.
You don't hear it very often.
No, you don't. Proof of English degrees being useful in the real world. Okay.
Not really, no.
Well, I was going to say, verboten it's not even English. It's German.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's used in English, though.
Well,
verboten is actually a German word? I didn't know that.
Yes, it is.
Well, what? You informed me.
I'm just trying to keep the Krampus at bay.
Yeah, you know who else is German, don't you? Krampus. I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't Krampus?
He might actually be Dutch, I think.
Dutch?
Whatever. They're all kind of in that area. Dutch, Deutschland, same thing, right?
Well, okay. Shady Grin says, how long have you had that pent up? I don't know. It's been about 3 years. Social justice has been going strong about that long. Man, all I wanted to do was just like, because I said that I was going to cover those 2 stories in the description, and then I didn't. So I wanted to get through them fast. And yeah, I did like the dark side of the force thing and fed my own anger there. Anyways, but believe me, I wasn't lying. That's how I feel about those things. And I think a lot of people do. They just, to be accused of being a racist is powerful. It's a powerful stick that people wield. To be called a bigot or a homophobe or whatever. It's like most people, I think 90%, 95% of people don't want to be seen as bad people. And people have figured out this powerful stick that they can use, the social stigmatization and ostracization that occurs as a result of calling somebody a fucking racist. And man, do they love using that social superpower of accusations. And
these are people that should not have power being given a little bit of power. And this is what happens.
Yeah. These are people acting like what people act like when they have a rush of power in their belly and shouldn't have it, because they're small, little, tiny people that wield it like a club.
Yeah, and they will continue to do so, and it will that need grows. It's an addiction for people like this. And
the thing I was saying is the pendulum hasn't swung far enough in the other direction where people are starting to respond with it with "go fuck yourself" or "fuck you." Not "I'm not a racist and let me prove it. I have one black friend, etc. I dated a black girl." I mean, people are still scrambling to not. It's going to take, I think, years, unfortunately, before people start responding with "oh, shut up."
It'll get a lot worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said that the most important thing is to learn that, because it will be important. It will be important to tell these people to go fuck yourself.
And in the meantime, nobody will be able, by the time it's gone on, no one will be able to recognize actual racism anymore, or be able to write really about racism, because it'll become a used up issue. Think about that for a second. As fodder for garbage tier websites and newspapers, they're using up the story of racism as if that's something that should be used up.
Well,
you know, it's like using up domestic abuse or something. Like, no, that's a bad thing. We should. It's
Yeah,
not
we should not be doing that.
It's not a genre. It's you know what I mean?
They're going to diminish the value of the terminology so much that people won't be shocked by what they need to be shocked by.
There you go. That's well said. Yes. Okay. Anyway, well, my final thoughts. Buy used, and remember to have a Merry Christmas, because, yay, quiz.
We need to piss Polly off more often.
Yeah.
It may not be good. It may not be good for his blood pressure, but it definitely is good for my entertainment value, at least.
Agreed.
Great. Thanks.
Love you, Polly.
Jack.
I got nothing. Have a good night. Do something exciting. Do something fun and different.
Yes, that's that's I think a really good way to end this would be, regardless of the venom and vitriol that we've just gone through on this, don't let it get to you, as hard as that may be.
Yeah. Comics are supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be having fun with our hobbies. If it's not fun, look around for an aspect of it that is fun. There's a lot of good comics out there, a lot of good hobbies. If you're not having fun, do something fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or find something fun.
Yeah, if you enjoy something, don't let the naysayers take it away from you either, because that's what they're trying to do. They want to change everything, and we can't let them do that. Hold on to the things you enjoy.
That's why I tell Feminist 40K to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, protect your 40K, man. They're coming for it. They haven't given up yet. As a final thought, as I always forget to say, remember to like and subscribe. It's your first time here. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is no indication of how unprofessional we usually are. This is
yes, it is.
No, I mean this stream was extra, man. We went extra.
It's crazy.
Never know what awesome.
Well, you have to watch every episode.
I do love getting comments, and I do read them all and respond to them all. So by all means, if you got something to say, do respond. But please stop with the fucking fan mail for Jack. It's just filling up my inbox.
No, keep it up. Krampus is a Wakandan infiltrator. Good one. Nice, correct. Good one.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.